Hey guys, Papa Pete back. Another short video. Today I'm going to look back at what I think are the 3 worst pieces of cover art in my collection. This is a follow-up to my 3 favorite pieces of cover art, which was a response to Megadan29, CMRetro, JLove81, and I had a comment from Folk Ravenbear in that one that said he had also done his what he thought were the 3 worst pieces of cover art in his collection. I thought, what a great idea! So I went through, I searched what I could find, and here it is, my 3 worst pieces of cover art in my collection. Stick around.
Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. If you haven't grown up by the age of 50, you don't have to.
Alright guys, so before I get right into the actual 3 games that I think are have the worst cover art in my entire collection, I want to talk a little bit about styles first of all, because sometimes there's certain lines of games, certain brands that just generally don't use a great style. And it's not that the individual games are bad, but usually the entire stretch of games for that series isn't the best that it could be. So there's a couple of those that I'm sort of discounting because of the overall game style from my list. But the first one I want to talk about is the ColecoVision games. Some people really like this, but it's just so simple. I myself kind of like it. I have good memories of it because I, of course, collected ColecoVision back in the day. I didn't have one myself, but my sister had one, and I remember going to buy the games and looking at the games in the stores. And it's so simple, just with the arcade cabinet on it and the actual lettering from the arcade for the different games. There's all kinds of different games that were the exact same style, whether it's Venture, Carnival, Donkey Kong, Zaxxon. It's not the covers themselves that weren't as appealing, but it's so simplistic, the overall design, that it's not one of the best, doesn't hold up well today. Another one that holds up along the same line, is just not a good series of covers, is for the Sega Master System. The white grid with the block lettering and just the very simple graphics. I mean, it's a magnifying glass with a row. What the heck is this? But the entire series is poor. How do you pick one out of the Sega Master System ones to be the worst cover? Sega Master System covers in general weren't that good. So I sort of discounted them from my pick of the top 3 because I wanted to pick games that I actually was really into when I was a kid as well. Anyway, the last one I'm going to mention for styles that some people don't tend to like, and okay, I sort of feel guilty putting these here because I love the games, one of my favorite systems, but the Activision games for the Atari 2600 all had the same geometric style, illustrated with all of them had the rainbow effect behind the items. It was very distinct. Back in the day when you looked at a cabinet and you were trying to pick out a game, you immediately could tell the Activision games from the Atari games from the other third-party brands. But overall, the style itself isn't the most attractive in the world, but frankly, back in the day, it probably was effective. It just doesn't hold up well nowadays. So let's look at the actual 3 games themselves. I'm going to start off with an NES title that you've probably seen 1,000 times. You've seen it in bargain bins everywhere. And it's not that it's ugly, it's just that what the heck is it trying to say? Okay, you know what it's trying to say, but what they use for a cover could be used for almost any game. I'm talking about Anticipation. It's just a simplistic board game. When you first look at it, you think it looks a little bit like Trivial Pursuit, but then it's like a connect the dot type game. But as far as the cover goes, the cover is just a group of people staring at you that are all smiling and having fun. Well, what game couldn't you put that on? The object of a video game is for everybody to have fun. So it's like, we have no idea what we can put on the cover to promote this game, so let's just show people having fun. That'll sell the game. Whatever. The next one that I'm going to show you is one of the very first games that I bought for the NES. I have no idea why. So obviously the cover worked well enough to get me to buy it. But John Elway's Quarterback. I'm sorry. They could have done so much better for the cover than this. Now, enough John Elway is enough John Elway. Like, holy cow. I was never a John Elway fan. I apologize to those who were, those who love the Broncos. Nothing about the Broncos in here. It's just him. It's very obviously him. He has a very distinct look. But frankly, I just find it such an ugly cover. That being said, there's a diagram or picture on the back, just it's drawing of a caricature of John Elway leaning against the arcade cabinet. They could have used that for the cover. That looks a lot better than the big photo of him right up front. I mean, they tried to do things later on with, like, for example, let's think of Joe Montana's football for the Genesis, where they have a picture of him on the field playing. That would have been a lot better, something like that for here. Now, yes, they have had other covers, like, for example, Tecmo Bowl or Tecmo Super Bowl, where they had just the head of the football player on there. But it wasn't a specific player. It was a model per se. It just sort of looked a lot better to describe the game that they wanted to. I don't know, there's just something about this cover. I just don't find it very appealing. Alright, so here is my least favorite cover in my collection. Is it that I like it the absolute least? No, it's just almost infamous. When I thought about doing this, this is the cover that came to my mind first. I really didn't have to look through. I knew this was going to be one of them. Because, I'm sorry, I just can't stand the cover on Mega Man. It's not the style either, because the style of Capcom's games used at that time, things like it was Ghosts and Goblins, Trojan, Gunsmoke, Commando, they all look the same with the same style with the graph down below. But it's just the actual artist work itself that I can't stand. Well, first of all, Mega Man's carrying and holding a gun in this picture. You know that he does have a gun, it's his arm cannon. They didn't even fix that in Mega Man 2, but at least it's a little bit better of a picture. But what gets me the most about it is just how ugly Mega Man is. I tell ya, I see his face, and it brings back memories from my childhood. Do you remember the game Mousetrap, the little diver that used to jump off the seesaw and throw him into the tub to knock the trap down? You get a look at that guy's face. I can remember when I was a kid, we had Mousetrap in our house before I was even born, and the pieces were all there, and frankly, he used to have the most ugly look on his face. This is what this guy looks like. There's also what's called a National Film Board of Canada vignette, used to be on CBC when I was a kid, and it just had faces that morphed into different faces, and there was always this one that was really distinct, and it looks just like Mega Man when it pops up. Oh my god, get a chance to watch this video in its entirety, go for it. It's kind of neat to watch, it's only about a minute long. But anyway, Mega Man. Oh my god, there's only one word for it. The cover for Mega Man is absolutely fugly. Alright guys, so that's it for my 3 least favorite, or what I think are the 3 worst pieces of cover art in my collection. Top of them all is Mega Man. I just can't stand the look of friggin' John Elway's quarterback. He's just John Elway with that grin looking at you. I just don't get it. In anticipation. Yep, it's a party. Great. Okay, whole bunch of people. Anyway, don't be afraid to make your own video. Make a response video to this one. Show us your 3 least favorite pieces of cover art, or the 3 that you think are the absolute worst. And if you don't want to make a video, just share what you think they are in the comments down below. Anyway, thanks for spending a little bit of time with me today, guys. I'm Papa Pete. We'll see you next time.
Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. If you haven't grown up by the age of 50, you don't have to.
You're watching Papa Pete, the old guy gamer.
What the